I woke up, I'm looking around, I'm in a weird space, no idea where I'm at, no idea who's around me. Come to find out it was my family and friends. I didn't recognize them because I had amnesia. After I landed at the hospital through a life flight, I had been being worked on. My family had come in and some friends, and they were just waiting in the waiting room, not knowing what was going on. A few hours later, the doctor comes in and is like, "You need to say your goodbyes, she's gonna die." And everyone's shocked. A few hours later, again, "Well, she may live, but we're gonna take her leg." A few hours later, they're like, "Oh, we're not gonna take her leg, it's Christmas." And I'm just like, I wish you would have. I ended up cutting it off about 7 years later. My first memory of the entire situation was I woke up, I'm looking around, I'm in a weird space, no idea where I'm at, no idea who's around me. Come to find out it was my family and friends. I didn't recognize them because I had amnesia. There was a tube down my throat to help me breathe, and I start trying to yank it out. Of course, sedation comes and everything goes black. A lot of my memories from the hospital are what are kind of told to me in segments, and I remember bits and pieces. At one point, I wasn't eating because I remember everything tasted like cardboard for a couple months, and it was awful. Everyone was bringing me sushi because it's my favorite food. They were in Starbucks, they were bringing everything. I would try to eat it, but it just tastes like cardboard, and I think that was a nerve damage thing. Family and friends would try to help me remember, and they would start telling me stories. After the first few cries, when I didn't remember, then I would start nodding and smiling so that it would appease them, so that they wouldn't cry because that was awkward. I also didn't know who my kids were. They didn't really get to visit me a whole lot during this time. They were with their dad, and they knew what happened, but they were so young, and so they kind of stayed away from it because trauma unit at Bayfront Hospital is not the place for a kid. They put an external fixator on the leg, which is like this giant cage that kind of goes around your leg. So if you're looking at my lower leg, it had 2 pins going through right under my knee, and then this rod that would go across, and at the bottom where my ankle is, it would be another rod, and another rod that would go straight through the back of my foot to my big toe. And so just kind of being held in place there, a triangle. And it was the worst. It was the worst thing ever because everything's open. Like, I can see my bones, my flesh, everything. And I was in such crazy amounts of pain. I want to say they would try to give me enough medicine, but it would wear off. And then I would just be stuck screaming for an hour or two.